What's good with it, YouTube? It's your boy Big Nate. Welcome to Big Nate's Book Reviews, home of the best book reviews. And today we got our first book review. We're looking at The Sympathizer by Viet, Thanh, and Nguyen. It is a fire ass book. I got my doobie right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and spark it, and we're gonna get right into it. So make sure to hit that like. Make sure to drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe. All of that business. Make sure to do all that business. So, all right, this book was published in 2015, so it's pretty recent. Actually, I guess not that long anymore, not that long ago, but or rather, it was a long time ago, kind of at this point. But anyway, published in 2015, got mad awards, instant classic. We got the Penn Faulkner Award. It got the Carnegie Mellon for Excellence in Fiction Award. It got the Pulitzer, and perhaps more importantly, I'm pleased to announce the very first ever 2022 Big Nate's book reviews stamp of approval. He's gonna be the first one to get that. So we smoking this one for you, Viet, Thanh, and Nguyen. We smoking this one for you. So anyway, it's a confirmed fire book. That's all just to say it's a confirmed fire book, and it's his first one. He got a Pulitzer off his debut novel. So shout out Viet, Thanh, and Nguyen. But anyway, the story is basically about a man, a Vietnamese French man, who is it takes place during the Vietnam War, and he is a mole for the North Vietnamese communists. He is a mole. He's a communist mole during the Vietnam War, essentially, and he has like infiltrated the South Vietnam military. Yeah, and he's basically just like reporting back. He's being a double agent, doing all that. And the book starts during the fall of Saigon. It takes place during the fall of Saigon. So basically, him and a bunch of other South Vietnamese military, they sort of evacuate or escape to Los Angeles, California, to the United States. And over there, they're still kind of active, you feel me? And he's still kind of playing the role of that mole. So that's essentially what the story is. And the story itself is pretty crazy. It's like a war book. It's like an espionage book. Like that's not the main thing, but it's definitely like a factor, and it's enough so that I can say that the plot is very engaging. Like it's a page turner. It's very engaging, and it develops in interesting and complex ways, especially the ending. If you read the book, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. You know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, and it's good. It's good. Like the plot itself is like a good reason to read this book. But the main thing, what makes this book like amazing, what makes this book 5 stars, is the unnamed protagonist. He's a character for the books. He's like a very interesting character in fiction in general. Like I'm telling you, this is an instant classic. And it's because of him. You feel me? Like the whole story, he starts the whole book off saying he has this talent, and then he's like, well, maybe I should call it not a talent but something like a curse, because a talent is something you can control. It's at your disposal. A curse you are beholden to. So he said maybe I got something more like a curse, where he sees both sides. He sees both perspectives. That's where the sympathizer comes from. He sympathizes like with both sides, and that is the name of the game for this book. But the thing is, it just takes place at like so many different levels, and it just makes for a very developed, like very interesting character. If you read the book, there's like a lot to him. I can't really get into all that right now, but he's an interesting ass character. So I mean, right off the bat, like this theme of being caught between two worlds, being in this liminal space. He's a mole. He's a double agent. So by definition, like that is how he's living. He's living between two worlds, where his day to day with his colleagues, his friends, his mentors, all of that, they're all South Vietnamese Democrats. And then on the other end, like all these people that he knows, he's really kind of preying on their downfall low key, because he's sending all the, like, you know, he's in contact with the commies, with the commies. So right off the bat, his very livelihood, his very like this is like his like career. You know what I'm saying? He spends a large part of his life in this position, playing the mole, and Yeah, exactly. So that's just kind of like at an obvious level, like he's a double agent. Another kind of interesting thing is because they're going back and forth between Vietnam and the United States. So there's kind of a lot of interesting cultural sort of like tensions going on too. So he was born in Vietnam. He's got like his closest childhood friends born in Vietnam, raised in Vietnam, I'm pretty sure. And then during his schooling years, as part of some sort of training, he's sent to the United States. He sent to the United States, and he spends formative years there. And the book, like I said, starts during the Fall of Saigon. So he's back in Vietnam. And then what do you know? Where does he go after Vietnam? Boom, right back to the States. Right back to the States. So it's kind of like this. You see this kind of in Native American literature too. Being caught between two different cultures and not quite fitting into either of them. And he's definitely in that space. When he's in Vietnam, he gets a certain type of shit. When he's in the United States, he gets a certain type of shit. And yeah, he just doesn't have any real roots in either of those. He's kind of split. He's spread too thin between them, and he can't like quite completely connect with either. Yep, that's really what it is. And he writes that in a really good way. He does that shit really well. Um, yeah, then you can get even more personal with it. His boys, his closest boys, like some really good friends, have conflicting political allegiances. And this is during the Vietnam War. You know what I'm saying? There are no games being played here. This ain't a argument at the dinner table. This is like blood is being shed on both sides. So if you're on different sides, it's kind of hard to reconcile that. Do you feel me? So he's even got that like kind of at the intrapersonal level. And then too, it's like this is a big part of the book too. He has to deal with this kind of morally as well. It is like I said, it's the Vietnam War. He is a high-ranking member in the military. You don't get that far. You don't have that position without getting your hands a little bit dirty at some level. I'm not gonna elaborate, but like you feel me. So yeah, he's got to make these decisions, and it's a thing where it's like if he's working in favor of the South Vietnamese Democrats, when they catch a commie, bro, they're doing some bad things to him. You know what I'm saying? They're doing bad things to prisoners of war. But so in he's in that position, and uh, they're like his comrades ultimately. So there's the kind of the question of, is it okay to do something bad, do something wrong for the right reasons? It's kind of like that, but you know, yeah. Check it out. He has some really interesting insight on the morality stuff. But anyway, this is just a fire ass book. That's kind of like, and there's so much more to go on about with that. But just read the book. That's just kind of like a taste of what you're about to get with this book. And it's kind of long too. I'll admit that. I think it's around 400 pages, but I feel like it reads kind of quick. I don't know. That's just me. Cause the thing is, he got a Pulitzer too. So like, the writing's got to be good. If you get the Pulitzer, basically, your prose has got to be like at least good. You feel me? Um, and his is really good. He uses this sort of like technique that I'm calling for now, like conceptual imagery, which is the idea. It's like he has a ton of imagery in the book, but he's not really describing scenes very much. He uses it for other things. Like, for instance, there's an example in the beginning of the book that's like something about the United States got involved in Vietnam. Like, yeah, we might have helped them, but we now, like, Vietnam lives off the IV drip of American aid, and it's just like, damn, that's like some straight heat right there, undeniably. So he's got that kind of stuff. It's not really describing like a sunset or a feeling. It's like kind of at the more conceptual level. So, and it's good. He does it really good. I was taking pictures and shit. Like, it's good prose. And then honestly, he just has like so much commentary on so much things, like kind of like racism against like Vietnamese and I guess Asian people in general in the United States, where it's not kind of like in your face, egregious stuff. It's more like at the everyday cultural level. And he does it, and he's kind of like satirical with it. It's funny. It's funny. He like kind of gives you a taste of the racism, which is very serious, but he does it sometimes in a way that's kind of like making fun of the whole thing. Um, so yeah, check that out. There's just commentary too on the Vietnam War. Like the thing is, this whole book takes place during the Vietnam War, and it's like kind of imbued in the whole story. Like it's like a factor for him throughout the whole story. The Vietnam War, it's constantly like affecting him. So he's got some thoughts on that, you know, and he's kind of like. He can be feisty, bro. He can be feisty, but it's good. It's like super good. It's super good. And then he talks too about the refugee experience, like the uncertainty of it, the administration of it, um, even the corruption of it, and just how he had this interesting distinction where he talks about when he was in the how he was treated in the U.S. When he was a foreign exchange student versus like look, you're like temporary, like you're a foreign exchange student, you're gonna go back, like you're here temporarily, and when you come as a refugee, completely different. When you're here to stay, completely different experience. So he talks about that. Like there's for real so much good shit about this book. I can't even like I could for real just go on, but I think I should stop there. You should just check this book out. I would give it a full A. I don't know about an A plus quite yet. I'd have to think about that, but I would give it for now at least an A. This is a really good ass book. You should check it out. Um, and also they're making a HBO series of it with Robert Downey Jr. So that could actually be kind of good. But yeah, we'll see. So keep an eye out for that. Be sure to hit that like. Be sure to hit that subscribe. You're gonna want to hit the post notification bell so you know right when it hits. And yeah, let me know what you think. Drop a comment, but let's keep it no spoiler. But drop a comment. What you think of the book? Do you recommend it, etc., etc. So, um, yeah, thanks for watching. Big Nate's book reviews. Uh, for Thank you for watching Big Nate's book reviews, home of the best book reviews.